Welcome on into Sports Memo Today. How are we doing on a Tuesday edition? If you're peeling yourself away from a little afternoon baseball, well, you're doing the exact same thing as the host. I was standing in the living room watching my Phils move to a further lead here on the Bravos. So we appreciate you turning your attention away from the television to join us here. I'm Dan Alexander. I have two great guests coming on here. Your little midday market report. We're going to get you some winners. We're going to get you some free plays, and we have some great deals for you over at sportsmemo.com. Want to welcome in the viewers on Wager Talk TV as well. You can always subscribe, like at both Sports Memo TV and Wager Talk TV. And you can download that Wager Talk TV app on the Google Play Store. Also, if you have a Roku device, and you can stream us right there on the big screen. For some of us, maybe we don't look as good in high definition, but we're happy to be here with you. I got Moneyline Matt and Pavlos Laguretos joining the show here in just a few moments. First, want to let you know, you see to the side of me, we got $2 Tuesday. You can get a 3-pack of plays for just $5. You get a 5%er from Joe D'Amico, 5%er from Kevin Thomas, and a 5%er from R&R Totals. 3 top-rated plays for just $5. You can't beat it. And also to the side of me here, you see a 7-day pass for just $59. So you get it the price of a 3-day. You get 4 days for 3. All you have to do, go to your favorite cappers page, use code MEMO7. And I know 2 guys who you're going to want to use that deal on today. The first of which is the SGP King, Moneyline Matt, joining the show. Matt, always good to see you, my guy. How you been? How's it been running, and what do you have up tonight?
Hey, it's going good. I appreciate you guys having me on the show, as always. But we've been running hot in the month of October. In the month of October, we are 9-4, hitting at a 70% rate. We had the Las Vegas Raiders over 21.5 team total last night. That hit. We gave out a free play in Derek Carr over 1.5 touchdowns. That hit. And I'm ready to give some more free winners today.
Yeah, I love to hear it, man. Always love it when you come on. We talk a little college football. We've talked pro. You've given us props on the show as well. And we're going to talk a little UFC today. As UFC is back, you can catch Matt every week on Inside the Distance here on Wager Talk TV alongside Andy Lang and our other guy, Kyle Anthony. So, Matt, let's get into it. Let's start in the NFL because a lot of people might have been surprised last night that the Chiefs had to sweat it out against the Raiders. They escape against a 1-win team, while the Bills, they took care of business. There was a lot of sharp love for Pittsburgh plus the 14. The Bills said, no, hold our beer. We don't even need the 14. How about we nearly double that up? So now it's the Bills and Chiefs in what could be an AFC Championship game preview. Is that how you see it? And how are you going to be betting this tilt?
Yeah, in all honesty, that is exactly how I'm seeing it. And speaking of that Pittsburgh and Bills game, that was a game that I was on for my subscribers as well. Had the under in that game and also had the Bills -7.5 first half team total. Love doing those first half team totals. But now we have the Buffalo Bills traveling on the road to face off against the Kansas City Chiefs in a Week 6 battle. If you guys remember, they faced off in that divisional playoff matchup, losing in overtime against the Kansas City Chiefs. And that was kind of a game that really came down to whoever had the ball last was going to win that game. You knew whoever won that coin toss was going to score and end up going to the next round, and that ended up being the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Buffalo Bills, right when they got out, they went up right to the drawing board. They picked up Von Miller, edge specialist, to come up. And I swear, they picked up Von Miller just for the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, because the way you beat Patrick Mahomes is you have to get to him. You cannot give him time in that pocket. You cannot let him step up and rush to the outside and find one of those speedy receivers in me, Cole Hardman, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, and of course, Travis Kelce, who had 4 touchdowns last night, only 25 yards receiving or somewhere around there. I know he busted a lot of same-game parlays with that receiving yards line. But the Chiefs, very talented, but one thing I will say, back-to-back very emotional wins against rivals in that of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They traveled on the road facing off against the Bucs, won that outright. And then last night came from behind against the divisional rival in the Las Vegas Raiders. Now they face off against the Buffalo Bills. This was also a Monday Night Football matchup, so they're losing a day of rest. And again, going up against a Bills team. So for me, I'm giving the edge here to the Buffalo Bills. I honestly think they have the edge across the board. You look at offense, I'm going to give that edge to Buffalo. You know, when you have Stephon Diggs, when you have Gabe Davis on the outside, when you have Josh Allen, who has maybe the best arm in the NFL, who can also extend plays and run like a wide receiver or a running back, you know, and then when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs on defense, again, I give that edge to the Buffalo Bills. The Kansas City Chiefs on defense have one of the worst pass defenses in the entire NFL. They're actually bottom 3 in almost every single category and rank 30th in pass touchdowns given up. I think this is going to be a long day for Kansas City, especially when you're going against Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis on the outside. Gabe Davis showed what he can do, how he can stretch the field, and how he can make tough grabs when stretching the field like that. Against Kansas City, Gabe Davis is most likely going to be matched up with a rookie in that secondary. Definitely another favorable matchup to that for the Buffalo Bills. And then again, if you start blitzing Buffalo, if you zone blitz, if you man blitz, whatever it may be, then you're allowing those receivers to get down the field and you're letting Josh Allen make plays with those legs. I love the Bills here at -2.5. This is a letdown spot for Kansas City. And all in all, I personally just think the Buffalo Bills are the better team right now.
Yeah, and let's be real. I know a lot of the stats is about Kansas City being a favorite against the spread. This team has just really struggled to cover games. I get it. You know, now you're getting them as a home dog, so there's going to be a lot of love, potentially going to be a public dog. Moneyline Matt saying, I'm not falling for the bait. Give me the Bills laying the spot. Love it, man. It's hard to disagree with what we've seen. This team just seems like a juggernaut. They got caught the 1 week by Miami. They haven't really looked back since then. So we talked some gridiron. Let's switch to the octagon because there's been a little bit of a break in the octagon. It's good to see the UFC back this weekend. And we got Askarov taking on Brandon Royval. And both of these guys, 14 wins in their career. I mean, Askarov, maybe the more impressive 14-1-1 record. I will say it makes me a little bit uncomfortable that Brandon's nickname is Raw Dog, but we'll save that for another show. The second that I saw that, I was like, wow, all right, that guy's really, really going all in with the nickname there. So as far as this fight goes outside of the questionable nicknames there, how do we bet this one? Because it seems like a pretty decent matchup as far as the tape goes.
Yeah, in all honesty, I chose this fight for one, because I think it could be fight of the night, and two, because I do think there are some good betting opportunities. And I think those betting opportunities are actually with Brandon Royval. And coming into this matchup, Askarov comes in at 14-1-1. He lost to Kai Kara France in a matchup where it was more of a stand-up. He couldn't get Kai Kara France to the ground, and he just outstruck him. And then that draw actually came against Brandon Moreno, who is the interim champion right now, getting ready to fight for the fourth time against Davison Figueiredo. And, you know, I think Moreno won those, but we'll get to that another time. But now when looking at Brandon Royval, he is 14-6, and he is someone who is going to come at you. He's going to apply the pressure, and he's good all over. Both of these guys are pretty good all around. And when you look at their track record, they've actually fought similar guys in Kai Kara France and Tim Elliott. Both of them beat Tim Elliott. You know, Tim Elliott, a solid wrestler. But coming into this matchup, on paper, Brandon Royval is 5'8", has a 68-inch reach, while Askarov is 5'6", and has a 67-inch reach. So very similar right there. Again, both fighters are very well-rounded. But in terms of striking, I give that edge to Brandon Royval. You know, he is someone who outstruck Kai Kara France. He beat Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France beat Askarov in outstriking him. So I think that is one advantage that Brandon Royval has in this matchup. You know, when it comes to Askarov, he is someone who loves to shoot takedowns, and he likes to do it a lot. Numerous times, he has 10-plus takedown attempts, and I honestly think that is his path to victory here. You know, again, Askarov is the favorite in this fight for a reason. He's 14-1-1. He is just coming off that loss, though. And again, his path to victory will be with those takedowns. On the other hand, though, Askarov's takedown rate is around 38%. So he's not that efficient actually getting people to the ground. Brandon Royval, on the other hand, he does shoot takedowns, just not as often. But when he does shoot those takedowns, he's getting them at around an 88% rate, and he is a submission specialist. So that's one thing to keep in your mind is if Askarov gets Brandon Royval to the ground, what's going to happen there? Because Brandon Royval, again, is a submission specialist. He has submit numerous opponents throughout his career. So that could be a spot that Askarov might not even want to go. And then if they're standing, once again, I give that advantage to Brandon Royval. I think a lot of this, the odds on this fight comes from Askarov and the people he has beaten in the past. But Brandon Royval has taken down some tough fighters as well and beaten some people that Askarov has lost to. So because of this, I think the plus 200 price tag for Brandon Royval is a little bit too high. I think it should be more in the plus 140, plus 150 range. So I do think you're getting some value there with Brandon Royval. And with him being such a submission specialist, with Askarov liking to go to the decision as of late, and Brandon Royval probably being the better striker, I give Brandon Royval a significant advantage here, and I like him at that plus 200 price tag. I think it's worth a unit. I think it's worth a sprinkle. So I'm going to go with Brandon Royval here at plus 200 against Askarov.
So I think you mentioned Askarov being completely fine with going to the cards, because when I heard you talking about, high energy, both of these guys wanting to show off, Askarov coming off of a loss, maybe pressing a little bit early in the fight. I was even wondering, do you maybe look at that under 2.5 rounds, or with Royval, who's had 9 first-round finishes in his career, do you even want to maybe take a potential, big plus money price at a first-round finish, or do you think Askarov maybe has enough to push it more to a decision? Any thoughts on just maybe some of those other plus money sprinkles?
Yeah, honestly, one thing with Brandon Royval is he likes to push the pace. He definitely likes to push the pace. He likes to be in your face throughout the fight. And to your point, if Askarov shoots and makes a mistake because he is pushing that pace, Brandon Royval is talented enough and a good enough submission artist that he could get him in that rear naked choke, or he could get them in an armbar, or whatever that may be. Because all it takes is that one mistake for some of these submission artists, and Brandon Royval is definitely one of those guys where if you make a mistake, that could be the end of the fight.
There we go. That's Moneyline Matt. You can use code MEMO7, get a 7-day pass for just $59. If people head over to your page, sm.buzz/MLM, and they use that code, what kind of stuff will they find over there, brother?
Yeah, so what I've been doing as of late is I've been packaging. I've been putting 3 or 4 games together for the 1 p.m., and I've been doing 3 or 4 games for the 4 p.m. slate. Last week I had a 1 p.m. package. We went 3-1, so the subscribers did very well there. Going to look to put something out very similar, and I'm definitely going to have some UFC plays up this week. Most likely we'll have everything up by tonight. I'm going to get started writing shortly after this show. So definitely go check those out. I'm starting to package things together so you get more plays, more bang for your buck. So again, that's Moneyline Matt over at SportsMemo.
A man of the people, throwing the packages together, trying to save you money, save even more using that code MEMO7. Matt, always a pleasure, man. We'll see you this week on Inside the Distance. Thanks for pinch hitting for us and coming on, man.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate you guys having me. Have a good one.
There we go. Moneyline Matt. One more time, sm.buzz/MLM. Before we bring in Pavlos, want to remind you it is $2 Tuesday. You can get individually for $2. Joe D'Amico 5%er, a Kevin Thomas 5%er, or an R&R Totals 5%er. You can get all 3 of them. It's going to cost you $6, or you can get all 3 of them for just $5. Over at sportsmemo.com, we do the $5 triple play each and every $2 Tuesday. Over at wagertalk.com, check out my guy, Andrew McGinnis. It's hockey season. That's right, hockey season. We'll have some people coming on here on Sports Memo today talking some puck, but you can always check them out on Puck Time. Carmine Bianco, Andrew McGinnis, get his $2 play over at Wager Talk. Let's welcome in my favorite guy across the pond, holding things down in Greece. It's Pavlos Laguretos. We're hanging out in the same sports book today. Pavlos, how we doing, brother?
Yeah, doing great. We're looking to shoot some winners tonight, some winners tomorrow. I love what I hear. I have absolutely no idea about UFC, but I love what I'm hearing, guys. Whenever I'm in these shows, I I'm a sponge. I absorb every kind of viable tips that you guys give, and it's been amazing. And I couldn't be happier to be in the show.
No, we love having you on, Pavlos, especially with World Cup right around the corner. We're going to be having you on early and often because Pavlos is my guy for soccer. You talk about Matt being my go-to UFC guy. If I need a soccer play and I don't care who wins, I go to my guy, Pavlos Laguretos. Let's start on Wednesday. Talk a little Champions League. You have a play that you're maybe looking to cash early in a game in this Tottenham-Frankfurt game. Floor is yours, Pavlos.
Yeah, this match goes live at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's one of the later slates in the Champions League. Of course, the earlier slate is at 12:45 p.m. Eastern. Now, this match, these two teams played actually last week as well because this is the reverse fixture, and they played for a goalless draw. And now this group is very interesting because Sporting are top of the group with 6 points. Tottenham and Frankfurt have 4 points each. And Marseille are sitting at the bottom with 3 points. So there's 3 more matches to go. So everything is still open. In terms of who finishes first and second, the first and second teams, they move on to the knockout round of the Champions League. The third place team gets demoted to the Europa League, but they still get some international soccer going, while the fourth team is eliminated from the contention. So this is a very cagey match because everything is still open in this group. Nothing has been decided. Everything is up for grabs, all the spots. So here's a very interesting total that I found about this match. Now, again, I expect a very cagey match between the two sides. It's a match that nobody wants to lose. A draw wouldn't be catastrophic for anybody because each team will get 1 point each, and then they move on to their 2 remaining matches of the group stage. Now, Tottenham, they're 9-3 to the under 1.5 goals in the first half so far in the season, while all 3 of their Champions League matches so far had 0 goals in the first half. Now, Frankfurt, they're coming off a rare 3-0 loss to Bochum over the weekend. And keep in mind that Bochum is one of the worst teams in the Bundesliga. So Frankfurt, not only did they lose, but they lost 3-0. And that makes them the only team to not have scored against this side in the Bundesliga. Now, this raises some red flags here. And Frankfurt are 9-4 to the under 1.5 goals in the first half so far. And the 4 matches that actually had more goals in the first half were matches where they either got blown out, like the 6-1 loss to Bayern Munich in the season opener, which was a couple of months ago. Nobody was ready actually for the season opener. In Bayern Munich, they can drop 5 or 6 to anybody. So in the matches that there were a lot of goals in the first half, they were either playing opponents much better than them or much worse than them. And Tottenham they're better, but they're not much better than them. So keep in mind that Frankfurt are missing their star striker, and that also takes away some of their firepower up front. Yes, they do have a couple of players who can slide into the starting lineup, but they're not as good as that guy. Now, I see a very, very careful match between the two sides here. The under 2.75 goals as a game total is something that you could consider, but I like the under 1.25 goals in the first half at minus 135. This is essentially a split line between under 1 and under 1.5. So what does that mean essentially? If there are 0 goals in the first half, we get a full payout. If there's just 1 goal in the first half, we get half a payout. We don't get any payout. Essentially, we lose if there's 2 goals in the first half. And judging by the statistics and the severity of this match, I just don't see 2 goals in the first half. I see a maximum of 1 goal. So under 1.25 goal first half at minus 135 is a very, very safe way to play this.
So Pavlos not only giving you a strong play that first half under 1.25 goals, he's explaining to you how soccer handicapping works a little bit. You learn and you get the actionable info right here on SportsMemo Today. Another play you want to take a look at is one that's going on Thursday. We're looking at, I believe, a Europa conference with Partizan and Koln, and I'm sure I butchered at least one of those pronunciations, so do a little schooling for me, Pavlos.
No, you nailed both of them. Actually, everybody calls them Partizan. Yeah, but I in Greece we call them Partizan for some reason. It's because this sportscaster that keeps calling them Partizan. So
it
everybody
just sounds
calls them
sexy.
Partizan here.
Partizan sounds sexier.
Partizan. Yeah, it's like teasing. So this Europa Conference League match again. These two sides they met last Thursday, and the books had it all wrong in that match. the bookmakers made a serious mistake in that match because they gave Koln a really low price. They were playing at home, of course, but keep in mind that Koln are just a mediocre team from Bundesliga, and Partizan, or Partizan. Nobody knows them, but they are a Serbian team that's always contesting in the Champions League, the Europa League. They're always, are either first or second in their Serbian league, so that gives them a ticket to the European competitions. Now, they have a big pedigree. They have a lot of experience playing in these competitions, and I just couldn't stand the line that was given to them. So I backed them with +1 goal last week at Germany, and not only did they win the bet, they won the match by 1-0. So I had a nice write-up as well. It's still visible at my page. Just scroll down at the past picks, and you'll read all about it. I mean, and it's the same situation here. I have the same belief today. The books are still underestimating Partizan, and they're overestimating Koln. Now, Partizan, they're even better at home. They're unbeaten in their last 15 matches in all competitions with 10 wins and 5 draws, and they've lost just one match in 2022. They have 13 wins, 1 loss, and 5 draws. Now, Koln, yes, they started the season in a pretty solid manner, not great, but pretty solid manner, but they are regressing lately. They're coming off back-to-back losses, including a 5-2 thrashing in the hands of Gladbach over the weekend. So they lost a couple of players through injuries as well. They've been mediocre at best on the road so far in the season. Yes, they've lost just one match, but they have 2 wins, 1 loss and 5 draws. But their only wins were a 4-2 win against Wolfsburg, who are... they're really, really bad in the Bundesliga this season. Everybody beats them. And they also won a team in the Europa Conference League in the qualifiers as well, which is a no-name team from Hungary. So everybody beats them as well. There is nothing that suggests that Koln should back up at, their price on Koln Moneyline is at even money right now. I mean, that's insane. I don't know what the books are doing. This is a clear mistake. Keep in mind that Koln, they're missing up to 8 players, including 2 of their most influential midfielders. So I really don't know why the price is so high on Koln, and it's dropping. Somebody's betting on Koln to win. I'm not so sure what everybody's thinking. Partizan, keep in mind that Partizan, they're sitting at the top of this group with 5 points. Nice are sitting at the second spot with 5 points as well. Koln are sitting third with 4 points, and Slovácko are sitting at the bottom with 1 point. Now, here's the deal. Partizan, they know that they will remain at one of the 2 top spots if they hold out for a draw here. If they win, yes, of course, they'll remain at the top. But even a draw here wouldn't be catastrophic for their chances to move on to the competition. And again, this is a competition, the Europa Conference League, that the 2 top teams from each group, they advance to the knockout round. And now Partizan, they can remain in those two top spots with a win or a draw here. All things considered, I don't see Koln winning this one. So I'm backing Partizan plus half a goal at -120 here.
Partizan getting the half goal, according to our guy, Pavlos Laguretos. We are up against it. We got the college football daily coming your way here on Wager Talk TV. So I'll send you over to Pavlos's page for him. Head on over sm.buzz/PL, and you can use that code MEMO7. Get a 7-day pass from my man Pavlos for just $59. What are you going to get in that? You're going to get soccer plays. You're going to get them the second that they're loaded. You have prop action. My guy looks at basketball as well as the season rolls forward. So definitely give him a check out and give him a follow too on Twitter, because I always love seeing what my man Pavlos is up to. So again, Memo7, use that code, $59. You're basically getting it for the price of a 3-day and getting 4 days. Memo7 at both Pavlos's and Moneyline Matt's pages. It's also $2 Tuesday. Get Joe D'Amico, Kevin Thomas, and R&R totals for just $5. 3 5% plays, $5. I mean, I'm no mathematician. That's pretty damn good. So we appreciate you tuning in and joining us here for a Tuesday edition. We will be back on Thursday, but that's going to do it for us. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and big thanks to Moneyline Matt and Pavlos Laguretos. Until we see you on Thursday, I'm Dan Alexander, and thanks for tuning in to Sports Memo Today.